Hello and welcome to episode 10, and this is part 2 of Art as a Healing Path. I wanted to share some of my personal drawings or how I use art to kind of process some of my emotions. And this is an example. I've briefly shown this before, but I'd like to go into a little bit more detail. Whenever something is bothering me, sometimes I do just this. I sit down with some colors and a piece of paper in my sketchbook and I start to draw out my feelings. And first there might be some words coming out to kind of clarify what I'm going through. These particular pieces were dealing with my childhood stuff that I'm still processing at 42. I won't go into too much detail about that. I think it's a little too personal, but I just want to let you know that you can totally process any emotions, no matter how old they are or if they're still coming up, something is coming up for you. Give it a try of drawing it out. And at the end of this process, I had this epiphany that this is me. Everything that ever happened, how it happened, with whom, and in what situation made me. This was a very healing process for me, and it opened my eyes and reminded me that everything is for a reason. And everything has its purpose, and I'm so grateful. I felt so much better after this little session. These drawings I've done in 2020, where we have all been experiencing the shock, first of the pandemic, and two, in America, we were all witness to the death of George Floyd. I felt so helpless, but called to do these drawings and expressing something that was beneath the surface. I feel like collectively we are in a healing journey ourselves. And these were helping me kind of understand what was going on in a way, for myself at least. And then, of course, I've mentioned this many times before, but year 2021, at the end of it, was loss of my grandma. And I want to share with you this powerful drawing that happened on November 30th, 2021. I felt this strong urge to sit down and draw. And I put on Spotify and my random selection, and at some point, this beautiful music comes on by John Hopkins. I'll put a link in the bio. And, at first I'm kind of questioning. There was a lot of reds and yellows, and almost this fire began to emerge. And as I'm listening to the poem, I begin to understand. I finish with the last sentence of the poem, and the emotion just completely took over me because I understood what was happening. This was a beautiful communion between my grandma's soul that was transitioning and myself, and she was letting me know through her beautiful way. She loved poems. She always loved sharing them with me, that it's okay. This is human life. This is transition. As if in each of us there once was a fire, and for some of us there seem as if there are only ashes now. But when we dig in the ashes, we find one ember. And very gently we fan that ember, blow on it, it gets brighter. And from that ember we rebuild the fire. Only thing that's important is that ember. That's what you and I are here to celebrate. That though we've lived our life totally involved in the world, we know we know that we are of the Spirit. The ember gets stronger, flame starts to flicker a bit, and pretty soon you realize that all we're going to do for eternity is sit around the fire. My grandma passed away a few hours after I had this experience, and I will cherish it forever. It was the greatest gift I received from her. When I was recording for this video, I found this little snippet she cut out from some newspaper, and I felt she's still sending me poems. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.